Now, global markets are being transformed as technology, finance and geopolitics reshape the world. Here on Daybreak Europe, we are taking a weekly deep dive into the drivers behind the new world of global trade. For the first episode of Bloomberg Terms of Trade, I spoke to Anindya Bakrie. The CEO of Bakrie Bros is an Indonesian conglomerate involved in everything from mining and construction to renewable energy and electric vehicles. I started by asking Bakrie how the company navigates a world of increasing geopolitical tensions.
First of all, we have to be cautious. In Indonesia, especially, constitutionally, we have always been free and active when it comes to tensions like this. But tension is there. So Indonesia would like to play a role in a good way to become a middle force to make sure that everybody can come down to the table and discuss. So, for example, in 2022, in G20, we were the president of G20, and we get to have the two President Biden and President Xi sit down, and we like that. And the same thing, 2023, just last year, when we were the chairman of ASEAN, which is, we are 60% of the population of 800 million people in ASEAN, we also really promote the peace and stability. So in general, Indonesia has, the ambition and starting to have some, confidence and hopefully size and ability to bring down the tension. But the tension is there, and we need to be really, really cautious because it will somehow, disrupt the supply chain. And one more thing, also, the Malacca Strait is the place where we as a country are accustomed to have trade going on over there. So any tension on the other side of the world, like in the Red Sea, is certainly a cause of concern. But at the same time, we have to think about how to manage the supply chain much better.
How does your business balance the tensions when it comes to China and the US and the friction, frankly, around trade between those two nations?
We try to do as much as possible, but at the same time, we need to make sure that we cover both sides equally, as long as they also believe that this energy transition has to be just transition in orderly manner. So, for example, let me give you, one case, right? So we are setting up this consortium called Indo-Pacific Net Zero Battery Materials. And the idea is to process nickel battery materials with clean energy supported by gas for the base load in the beginning and sending it not only to the east but also to the west. We believe that this thing will open up a new trade channel for Indonesia. And yes, we're hoping to start with the UK, but we are also hoping that one day Indonesia can go to the US and being Inflation Reduction Act compliance. What do we accomplish by this? We think by doing that, Indonesia can show, again, coming back as a middle power, a force in supply chain as well, including in the battery material supply chain. And Indonesia will also benefit greatly because just less than 10 years ago, we were exporting ore. Now we have to process it, halfway, and soon hopefully going to be full way. Now, in every single step of the way, we at least, double, quadruple, and 10x in terms of the value addition. Now, in terms of the GDP per capita of Indonesia, as much as it is $1.3 trillion economy and the 15th largest in the world, it is still $4,500. So these value additions that helps, the rest of the country, especially the eastern part that's less developed, will be, helpful for Indonesia to get to the level they want in terms of the a stronger economy.
Yeah, and to be clear, you're not concerned at this point about EV demand. Are you seeing any softness in EV demand?
Not really, because if you think about it, even in Indonesia alone, we're focusing on buses and trucks, right? Buses in Indonesia, about 200,000. That's more in terms of the cities than a lot of the countries in Europe.
And that's in partnership with China's BYD?
To start with, we partner with BYD indeed, but also we focus on trucks, and the market trucks in Indonesia is about 5.5 million trucks. Now, the thing is this, by 2030, the government of Indonesia has mandated that no more registration plate being issued if you are not EV. right? And that's just one Indonesia, and the market itself is at least, between $250 billion to $750 billion. Now, I see this thing happening not only in Indonesia, but also Southeast Asia and also the world. Yes, of course, Europe and America is going through some challenges, but, I think decarbonization is a must because this is about climate change, which I think, 2023, we're doing not too well as a global citizen and so on. And I think, the pressures to continue to do whatever you can in terms of decarbonization will be there.
China, obviously a major trading partner for Indonesia. We're seeing concerns about the health of that economy, the Chinese economy. What are you seeing in terms of demand from some of your Chinese customers for some of these input prices, for some of these commodities, nickel in particular?
So in the last 10 years, for example, Indonesia has been blessed to get a lot of investments, including from China, to process nickel to become stainless steel. From zero about 8 years ago to become more than $30 billion. And that's a lot, especially knowing the export of Indonesia is $300 billion.
Is that market to China still growing?
The market in China is still growing because the demand for stainless steel to start with is still growing. Now, this is not taking into account the battery materials that we are talking about. And battery materials, the value additions is far, far, far exceeding the stainless steel. So I think combination of the value additions in increasing, and China, while, right now is going through just like the rest of the world, some slowdown, it is still growing at the rate where it is certainly above average that we see in the world.